That character just died, and the world wrote it down. Everything in this episode is about what happens next. Not the fight, we covered the fight. What we have not shown you is the part that decides whether any of it was worth doing. What you keep, what you lose, and what is still there when you come back tomorrow. A game where nothing persists is a toy. Everything in the last 3 episodes only matters because of the machinery in this one, and almost none of it is exciting to look at. The first question every world has to answer is what dying costs, and both easy answers are wrong. Make it free and you delete the game. If there is no consequence, the optimal way to play anything difficult is to throw yourself at it repeatedly until it falls over. And once players notice that, they will do it, resent doing it, and be right to. Nothing you build on top can make a risk-free world tense. Make it brutal, and you get a different failure, which is that people stop trying things. A world where a mistake costs you an evening is a world where nobody explores, nobody experiments, and everybody plays the safest possible version of their character forever. That is not difficulty. It is a game teaching people to be timid, and it is much harder to undo than to avoid. What we want sits between those, and it is less about the size of the penalty than its shape. The cost should be time and inconvenience, not erasure. You lose your position. You do not lose your progress. There is a second thing a death penalty has to be, which almost never gets said out loud. It has to be survivable by someone having a bad night. The same cost lands very differently on a player with 4 uninterrupted hours, and one with 40 minutes between other obligations. Design a penalty around the first, and you have quietly built a game the second cannot play. Not because they are worse at it, but because they cannot afford the recovery. We would rather the loss be sharp and short than mild and long. A cost you feel immediately and are done with respects the player's evening. A cost that follows you around for an hour is the same amount of punishment stretched until it becomes a reason to stop playing. Which is why what you keep is the more interesting half. Levels, the things you have learned, the gear you earned, the record of what you did, those survive dying, and they have to, because they are the only argument for playing tomorrow. A character is a container for time you have already spent. Anything that can empty it makes the time feel conditional, and people are very good at noticing when their time is being treated as cheap. Notice this is happening on the same bare plane as everything else. Leveling is the single easiest system in a game to make look rewarding. A flash, a sound, a number, and the easiest to leave hollow underneath. Proving it here, with no effects to hide behind, means the reward is the actual change in what the character can do, not the celebration around it. The test we hold it to is simple and unforgiving. If you removed every visual flourish, would the player still want the level? If the answer is no, the level is not a reward. It is a receipt for time served dressed up as one. Plenty of games run on receipts. They work for a while, and then, people notice that nothing they earned changed anything, and there is no way to win that argument afterwards. The other half of it is that progress has to stay meaningful next to other people. A number that goes up forever is easy. A number that still means something when the person beside you has been playing 3 times as long is a much harder design problem. And it is the one that decides whether a world stays worth joining a year from now. And here is the least impressive thing in this entire series. 1 line of text. It says, a character was rebuilt from a record. The session it belonged to ended. Everything it knew was written down. And then a new session read that record and put it back. The same character, with the same progress, in a world that had carried on without it. We are showing you those words on a card, rather than filming the moment, because the moment looks like nothing at all. A figure standing on empty ground, doing nothing, in a frame with nothing in it. That is genuinely what the most important system in the game looks like while it works. That is the difference between a demo and a game. A demo runs, a game resumes. Every session anyone ever plays after the first one is this line of text working, and if it does not work, none of the rest of this series matters at all. The fights, the loot, the world, all of it evaporates the moment somebody closes a tab. It also has to be true across a crash, not just a clean exit, because that is how sessions actually end. So the test is not, did it save? The test is that a session can be ended, restored from nothing but its record, and then carry on to complete the same work, with the same character, the same progress, the same world. This is the kind of thing that is very easy to believe you have working. Saving usually looks fine, because the thing you load is often still sitting in memory from when you saved it. The honest version of the test throws all of that away and starts from the record alone. It is slower to build, it is unglamorous, and it is the only version that tells you anything. The failure it catches is a specific and nasty one. A record that is subtly incomplete works perfectly right up until the moment the original is gone. And then it turns out some part of your character was never really written down, only remembered. That bug does not appear in testing. It appears the first time a real person comes back the next day, which is the worst possible moment to find it. Persistence is not only about characters. The world has to remember too. What you are watching is the world being edited from inside itself. Not a separate program. The game, running, with someone placing a crate, a signpost, a merchant, a den for something to live in. It goes into the world, and the world keeps it. The important moment is the one where it says no. A placement is refused, and it gives its reason. The road is kept clear, so nothing gets to lair beside it. That rule is not a note in a document somewhere hoping to be honored. It is enforced at the moment of the attempt, by the same authority that decides everything else, which means the world cannot be edited into a state that breaks its own promises, not even by someone with permission. That matters more than it sounds. Every world of this kind eventually gets shaped by hand, and the question is whether the hand can do damage. Ours can move anything it likes, and cannot put a monster where the game has promised there will not be one. It matters for a second reason too. A rule that lives only in someone's head is a rule that lasts exactly as long as that person is paying attention, written into the thing that performs the action. It survives being forgotten, being handed over, and being tested at 3 in the morning by somebody who never read the document. The refusal you just watched is what a promise looks like when it has been made permanent instead of merely stated. And it is the same principle as the server refusing a player who claims to move too fast. One authority applied to everyone, including the people building it. We would rather be told no by our own game than trust ourselves to remember. Put the 4 episodes together, and the shape is visible. A server that decides what is true, a fight worth having on top of it, an economy that gives the fight a point, and underneath all of it, a record of what your character is, of what the world has been changed into, that survives everybody logging off. Not one of those was proven anywhere that looked like anything. That was deliberate, and this is the last episode where the ugly build is the star. What comes next is the one where the world finally arrives, and everything you have seen tonight is standing underneath it. You lose your place. You do not lose your progress. And the world you come back to is the one you left, including the parts somebody changed while you were gone. That is the floor. It took 4 episodes of footage that nobody would call beautiful, and every one of those episodes was about something you cannot see while it is working, and cannot ignore the moment it stops. We could have shown you all of this in reverse, opened with the pretty world and worked backwards, which is how most of these series are cut, and which would almost certainly have found a larger audience. We went the other way on purpose. A world you are shown first is a promise. A world you are shown last, standing on 4 episodes of proof, is a result. We would rather earn the second one. Next time, we build something on it worth looking at.